Ivor the engine. There he is, look, coming down into Llannog station. There's Dye Station waiting for him, looking worried as usual.
Oh, there you are, Ivor. There you are, Jones. I've been wondering where you'd got to.
Oh, we had one or two things to attend to down by the river.
Oh, fishing, is it? Well, you can forget that for a start. There is an emergency.
Oh, yes?
Mrs. Porty has been on the telephone about her new hat that's supposed to be coming from London. Ordered it special as she did for the Church Ladies Guild meeting tomorrow, and it hasn't turned up.
Oh, there's disaster now.
Well, I telephoned Llangubbin depot, and there's a box waiting there.
All right, Di, we're off. And to Llangubbin they went, over hills and valleys and bridges to collect Mrs. Porty's new hat. But when they came back in the evening, they noticed that the box was addressed to Professor Longfellow, not to Mrs. Porty.
Oh, dear. That isn't Mrs. Porty's hat after all.
Well, nothing we can do about it. If Mrs. Porty's new hat hasn't arrived, it hasn't arrived. She will have to wear one of the 100 other hats she's got. Oh, it's getting late. Time to go home. It was nearly dark by the time Jones the steam had cleared out Ivor's fire and settled him down for the night. Soon it was night time everywhere, and the little town of Llannog slept under the sky. Everybody was asleep. Well, nearly everybody. Young Willie Harris at number 2 Station Terrace was reading his cowboy book.
Bandits! What? Thieves!
Are you there, Dye Station?
Oh, Professor Longfellow. Good morning.
Good morning. Jones the steam said there is a box for me here. That will be the new cover for my telescope.
Oh, that's right. Where is it? Where did we put it? It was,
It was stolen. Stolen, Mr. Dye Station.
Stolen? Never.
Bandits. Come in the night on horses. Carried it away. Look, there's hoof prints here.
I see. Well, in that case, I shall have to ask you all to accompany me to the police house and make statements.
Oh, well, hang on a minute. Let's have a statement from Ivor, shall we? Ivor, do you know where Professor Longfellow's telescope cover is? Good. Can you show us? Gentlemen, if you would care to accompany Ivor to wherever he takes us. The church hall. That's where the Church Ladies Guild is meeting. I expect Mrs. Porty will be inside addressing the meeting.
Now the subject of my speech today will be personal honesty. So many of us tend to take lightly the small, everyday obligations and observances.
She's wearing it on her
We
head.
must all remember
Are
the
you
command.
quite sure, Professor?
Of
Thou
course I'm
shalt
sure.
not
That
steal.
is a telescope cover,
Even in
not a
our
hat.
most trivial
Mrs. Porty
deeds,
wears some very
we
remarkable
must
hats, you know.
bear in mind
No, that is my
that
new
it
telescope
matters
cover.
not
She
how
has
great
stolen
or
it.
small the deed or thought. It is the cleanness and purity of spirit, the personal knowledge that even in the face of temptation we have not given way. Constable Gregory, I am making a speech.
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Porty, ma'am, but I'm afraid I have to arrest you.
Arrest me? For what?
Well, for stealing, as a matter of fact.
Stealing?
That's right. It's nothing personal, of course, you know, but you did break into the station in the middle of the night, and...
I went down to the station with Bluebell, my donkey, and I collected my new hat.
Well, not quite, Mrs. Porty. That was a new cover for my telescope.
Oh? Oh, there. I thought it was a bit unusual. Well, Constable, I suppose you'll have to arrest me. Put on the handcuffs.
Oh, dear me, no, Mrs. Porty. I couldn't do that. Not in front of the Church Ladies Guild.
Of course not. Nobody would dream of arresting Mrs. Porty.